Hello, Quest for You fans. I'm back. I'm Janine, and you're listening to my podcast. I'm so happy you're here, and I welcome you. It's a windy morning in Northern California, and I'm happy to be inside, and I'm happy to be recording this episode for you. And I hope that this episode enriches your life, maybe propels you to do something different today. And my question today is, how often do you dream of something that you then quickly dismiss? You have a moment of quiet and your thoughts wander. You listen to something inspirational and an idea takes hold of you. A friend shares an experience that you are inspired by, and in your mind you can see yourself doing the same. I think we all dream from time to time. I always think, what if I tried this? What if I experimented with that? Most of these are contemplations in the moment. They last a few minutes maybe. As I explore them, I realize how unrealistic they are, and I move on. And a lot of them are. They are small bursts of craziness. That's what I like to call them. Playing with the infinite possibilities of life and letting my imagination run wild. It even feels good to do that sometimes. It reminds me of my childhood, when half my days were spent in the fantasy world. Because so much of life is still ahead of me, and so many things can still happen and play out. And that's what many of these little thought trains are that I have every day. The fantasies. For example, in my head, I have different places on this earth where I could see myself living. Huge warehouse lofts in the city, or a small beach house with a patio overlooking the ocean, or no place at all, just traveling the world and living in hotels. I can imagine all of these scenarios, and all of it in just about any city or place in this world. And they come up from time to time. But I don't seriously consider them. Sometimes I bring them up just because it's a beautiful day. It's an entertainment for my mind. But I'm not strategically laying out a plan to pursue them. Could they be more serious? Possibly. But for the moment, they are neither realistic nor important enough. I don't even want to pursue them at this point of time. And I'm sure you experience the same. Small daydreams, fantasies, little thoughts from time to time of what it would be like if. But I'm also certain you have other dreams that linger a little bit longer. They come to your mind more frequently, especially every time you're reminded of them. Oh yeah, I did hear about this before. I've been meaning to do some research about it. I've always wanted to try this. These seem more realistic, more doable, not so far-fetched. We can actually see them into reality in our mind, and we can get excited about them. And we are certain that we want this in our life. They're more specific than our daydream fantasies. Maybe a house in a certain neighborhood we wish to have one day. Or the dream for a family, a partner, traveling to a certain country. I have those too. Not as many, but there are a few. For example, I want to learn French. I really want to learn French. I started over a year ago, and I would love to be fluent, but I cannot find the time. Something else would have to give, and at the moment, I'm not willing to let go any of my other priorities. So learning French has to remain a dream for now. And maybe we call these wishes. We can see them happen for us, but not in this moment. We might be indirectly working towards them. Maybe we're saving money, for example. Or we put them on hold, like I did with my French language dream. And then there are the unfeasible ambitions. These fall somewhere in between a fantasy and a dream we consciously decide not to pursue. These are ideas of something we would love to have in our life, but we have given up on them. There's no point in pursuing that. No point in trying. It's unfeasible. It will never work out. And we have very good reasons we come up with as to why these aspirations are not worth of pursuit, or why we should give up, even if we already started. It looks impossible, so we make it impossible in our mind. For many people, it's that one thing that has been with them for a long time. Maybe it's the dream to write or illustrate a children's book, to start a restaurant or a business venture, to learn something new and wild, dancing, flying, painting, coding, whatever it may be. But since we cannot see it in our mind, we don't go after it. And what do we do instead? We go for a replacement plan. Something that is feasible. Something we know we can make happen. That is safe and practical, and that's within our league, and it's fit for our skill set. But how do we know if we are right? How can we predict the future with such certainty? Well, the answer is we really can't. We try. We use our current state of mind and our existing knowledge to predict a future state. Take a look back at last year. Where were you? What did you do exactly last year at this time? Or let's take it further. 10 years ago. I recently took out a notepad from my desk and saw that there were pages in there that I had written on. And there was a date on there. Exactly 11 years ago. It said January 31st, 2007. It was a training class I took for work and the notes that I took at that class. And you can imagine this took me back in time. It had me thinking about how I never, ever would have imagined the point I'm at now. The same applies to 1 year ago. I have learned so much within 1 year, and my outside situation has also changed significantly. So try this exercise. Place yourself in your past and look forward to today. In the past, how many things did you were pretty sure you were going to start and complete by now? Did you do it? Did you make it happen? What were other things that you had no idea would happen? A lot, I bet. Try this, and this will help you with perspective. Because what will happen in the future is completely unpredictable. We have no idea of what will happen and when, even when we have the best intentions. We cannot control all the outcomes. But yet, we're always so certain about the end result. We already know we won't make it, so we never try. We think we are so smart. We reason it out in our head. We apply logic and we use past experience as a guide. We research and ask others for input. We try to be as unemotional as possible. I can tell you from my 40 years of life experience, the times I've taken a chance and threw myself into something uncertain, filled with passion and hope that it will work out, it didn't just work out. It exceeded all my dreams I ever had about it. Think about it. I had a poster of the Golden Gate Bridge on my wall in communist East Germany. An entire political system crumbled and paved the way so that I can now speak to you from Northern California, about 20 miles away from the Golden Gate Bridge. You cannot predict the future, so don't try. Simply go for it. Allow yourself to dream and dare to pursue your unfeasible ambitions. Because my other experience has been this. The times I have taken the safe route and settled, I ended up in misery. Most notably, my relationships. I didn't allow myself to dream of the right person to be with. I settled for those that happened to cross my path. Those were the failures in my life. The replacement plan always turned out worse than I thought. Even though I had calculated, controlled, and managed it down to every detail. What is your ambition at the moment? What do you want to see happening in your life and don't allow it in? Where do you see the impossible instead of the possible? Dare to take a step. Because if you don't, how will you ever move any closer to the things you really want in life? Some happen magically, but many don't. They need your doing first. I believe, and I have experienced it myself, if you throw yourself into your goal, your dream, your aspiration, things will happen that are far outside of your imagination right now. Events will raise in your favor that you could have never dreamt of. Doors will open. Opportunities will come up. But you need to create the opportunity for it to happen by taking the first step. I'm not saying your dream will come true the way you have it in mind, but something will happen. And even if the outcome is different, it will be better than never having tried at all. Dive in and just believe in your infinite and creative potential. I'm ending with a quote I came across by William H. Murray. Let this quote sink in, it's beautiful. Until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back. Concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans. That the moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never otherwise have occurred. A whole stream of events issues from the decision, raising in one's favor all manner of unforeseen incidents and meetings and material assistance, which no man could have dreamt would have come his way. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Begin it now. With that, I'm leaving you and wishing you an amazing and beautiful day. Much love.